Welcome to That's 100. You know what I mean? Podcast episode. You know what I mean? We got Zach Artis today, y'all. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I met this guy fucking about 3 years ago when I was driving for Drew Transportation. He also was a driver. And in the midst of me knowing him, I understand that he was an artist. Like, I found out like he was an artist. And, you know, I went to places. He invited me and my family. We listened to him. We had a good time. And he rocked the joint. So before we even get started, thank you. I appreciate. Listen, man, I appreciate you. You know what I mean? Like your music is pure. And,
thank you.
He just came out with a book, y'all. It dropped yesterday. Music, language, notes, and motion. You know what I mean? We're gonna talk about a lot today. But before we get started, I need to be like soothed down. You know what I mean? As I always say every episode, when y'all hear me, I run around all day. I gotta do this and I gotta do that because I'm chasing my dream. I know what I want to do. So I still got family to take care of and responsibilities outside of chasing my dreams. So I'm always riled up when we come in here. You know what I mean? This is cheers.
Cheers.
I mean, this probably like maybe my third one. Be my first one, but this is my third one. You know what I mean? Because we probably restarted this a couple times, but hey, he's gonna soothe us with something personally he wrote.
This one called Silent Prayer.
Silent Prayer?
Silent Prayer.
Yeah, give it to him, Zach. Motherfucking beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. That's hard, man. What inspired that song, man?
Well, this song goes back when I was actually playing. I was working on this piece, and the only part I had down was That's how I started.
Listen.
Even though that's at the front of the song. I actually this is the verse, and then this is the chorus. But I started with the chorus.
So, all right. So, question: Do you put words to these things, or do you? Because when I fuck with music. Like if you ever look at That's 100 podcast, all the music.
From the day I met you was doing.
I would have came straight in there. I had something. Crank that bitch right time. Crank it one time. What I say? Hey. But you got to talk to the ladies though. How you got? I wasn't used to the love. Credit card, not a loot full of deals. I ran the streets every night, I wasn't used to the love. Good girl, her affection was promising. Sex was anonymous, blessed be the bombest chick. A nigga can be, she's thinking for me until I'm when I feel her down just to pick up my feet. She made it out of high school, never went to no college. Still was a bad chick, and she gifted with knowledge. Regardless of what we had, she was split it in half. Remember nights we were arguing, she was sitting in the back. Hey, listen, I was already there, Zach. I went with you already. I was like, wow, like this is original. Like it's crazy.
The beautiful thing about music is, I see every song I write.
Right.
Most of them don't have lyrics.
Right.
It's a soundtrack to my life.
All right, everything is a soundtrack to your life.
Everything's a soundtrack to your life. So when I write songs, basically what I do is, music is emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And if you only have two emotions,
right.
you have a sad emotion and a happy emotion.
Yeah.
So in music, what we have, and when you think of scales, chords, or whatever you're dealing with, it's either major or minor. Major is happy, minor is sad.
Right.
So this song is in minor. When you hear, that's written off of the minor scale. Here's a B minor scale.
Right.
You can hear that dark sound.
Yeah.
But if I put that in major, it will be.
That's why they say music. They always say music, language, notes, and motion.
Motion, yeah.
Right, so, you told me, and you actually showed me. Mm-hmm. You say you got a student writing an article on you. From what college is this?
This is college. Well, actually, that's a good question. I don't know what college it is, but this.
I seen the article.
The student is in studying hospitality. Working on their masters.
Right.
And they called me and I was telling them about different things I'm doing, working on the book and stuff. And they said, look, I want to write an article on you because my school wants me to write about a musician or aspiring musician. They can be famous or they can be just coming up.
Well, what I read, it was like they calling you Zack Attack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Zack Attack comes from when I played. I always I played electric guitar because I come from the school of Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, Eric Johnson, and all those guys come. Most of them study in Berkeley.
Yeah.
If they don't come from Berkeley, they'll be teaching a course or workshop at Berkeley College. So these guys are electric guitar players. They're straight guitar. I mean, it's like insane.
So if I tell you right now, you got something to turn me up. Do you got something to pick the pace up?
Yeah.
Well, you got stuff that make the. Do you make all kinds?
Vengeance.
Huh? Artis, y'all better get on here and rock that bitch. Hey, look,
this one's called
like I always tell y'all, so, I fuck with YouTube, but y'all be making me mad, YouTube, because, my man playing all original, that shit's still fire. But
this is original.
I know it is.
Can I tell you about Vengeance?
Yeah.
Well, check. Vengeance is, so in my book, I talk about how I brought an old van from a guy I gave a guitar lesson to.
Right.
He was a elderly man, and he said, "Hey, look, I don't have a lot of money." And back then, I was just coming up, and I said, "Hey, look, I don't have a car. You want me to give you a guitar lesson? That old van sitting over there not being used. Would you be willing to trade guitar lesson for that van?" And
so you got a car for teaching?
He said, "Yes, sir. Yeah, that's it." So he said, "Look, take that van." He said, "As long as you're giving me guitar lessons, you can pay that van off." I think it was like $3,000 or whatever. It was one of them old Astro vans. I talk to go to details.
Them shits run good though.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, that van became my studio. I had my guitar set up in that van, my cargo. I would go and do gigs, sleep in the van or whatever, put behind Wawa parking lot.
Right.
But one day, I was going to do an interview to try to get a gig at a place. I'm not gonna call the name of the place in Richmond.
Yeah.
He said, come on out here and do this interview, and he said, we'll see if we can get you in to play music. But anyway, I showed up late because the van had a transmission leak. I talked about that in the book.
Yeah.
So I had to pull it over every so often. It wouldn't go. It just ends up transmission.
It was just that bitch.
It's spinning.
Yeah, you know when that bitch. Yeah.
So when I show up, I try to explain that to the guy. I try, look, man. I'm a struggling musician. I'm trying to get my start.
Chasing that dream, brother.
Yeah. And he said, look, man, we don't take excuses in this business. He said, as a matter of fact, we can't use you. I mean, like I said, would you at least want to hear me play?
Hey, look, play that bitch.
He said, it's not about playing. He said about, you know what I'm saying, you in the music business. You need to be on time. He said,
facts.
So he technically fired me.
No, see, you as a crowd know, you know, we cover everything. It was just a whole dispute of, I don't know if you're hip to the Boss Man D-Lo guy. He had some issues with the Detroit guys for showing up. Glorilla was like the head of the show, and Boss Man D-Lo ended up showing up late and didn't perform. So they got in a whole, he got to get a money back thing. Like, we're talking about a motherfucker that got 60 million views or some shit. Wow. So I can understand he was actually training you for the business. So that's something legitimate.
You know what? Your setbacks will actually going to be the thing that actually teach you about this business. Because the music business is brutal. It's kind of like the trucking,
I believe that.
It's like trucking business.
You know we drive them 18
trucking business, like, you know how we have a saying, we say you show up early just to wait. And that's trucking for you. They said be here at 7 o'clock. Yeah. Well, they said be here at 7 o'clock. You probably need to be there. You exactly.
Yeah, you ain't pulling off.
You probably won't even. They probably won't even unload you.
That's why I ain't in that motherfucker.
Yeah, I know.
I start saying, "Fuck that! I'm going over here."
But
the money was good.
When I left that man he didn't have no mercy on me. But I'm glad he didn't, because a good song came out of that. I got in my van. I was speeding down the road. That transmission spinning around, and a beat popped in my head. And when inspiration hits, you got lightning strikes. You got to catch it.
You got to run it and go.
I pulled over to the side of the road, set the brake, and this is what I came up with. Okay. But what I did was, back then I didn't have a notebook.
Real quick.
I
want you to hit that one time, and then we're gonna talk about it. So, you know what I mean? I see you in here, you teaching. But what you don't know is I got one over there my goddamn self.
I believe it.
And I
always had a trick up your sleeve.
I keep a trick up my sleeve. Hold up.
That worries me a little bit, because I see you going towards the guitar.
Man, you think I had it? Sitting up there. Aye.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that. So, that's how I got started.
I want you to teach me one day. You know what I'm saying? I can't even get the finger plucking down.
Okay.
But what I can do is sit here. You got a fender over there, right?
Yeah.
It's fender. That's acoustic. It's left hand. When I bought it, I never knew the difference.
You're right. I just noticed that.
I never knew the difference.
Yes.
Because you switch it. Somebody told me I could restring it and all of that. But I was like, I ain't respringing shit. I'm the type of guy that learn how to play.
Well, that's how Jimi Hendrix did it.
I'm Jimi Hendrix. You right here in the flesh.
Well, let me take you back farther than Jimi Hendrix. Elizabeth Cotton.
Right.
She was the old slave lady. She would sneak underneath the bed and grab her master's guitar. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk like this.
You can talk however
people don't like this kind of talk. And she would grab that guitar and she would play, but she would flip the guitar upside down and play left-handed.
Right.
And just like you had it, the big string's supposed to be near my chin. Okay.
Okay.
But when you holding your guitar, your big string is near your foot.
Yeah, it's going down.
Right. That means the strings are is upside down. So guess what? Elizabeth Cotten, she was a natural. She'd never taken a guitar lesson in her life. She taught herself. If you guys haven't heard of Elizabeth Cotten, check out Elizabeth Cotten.
Yeah, check her out.
Now, check this out. Now, check this out. Here's the song she wrote and made famous, and everybody, and Chet Atkins played, and people thought Chet Atkins wrote it. He said, no, check out Elizabeth Cotten, because the first person you hear playing the song, that song always go back further than the person you discover. Right. So she played a song called, Freight Train. It went like this, something like this.
I've been cranking this bitch. I don't even know how to come through. If I plug it in the bottom, do I got the plug back there? Is that the plug right there?
That's it.
Yeah, it's the plug back there. One day y'all gonna catch me doing this shit. I practice everything.
Here's the thing about guitar. So many people that feel somewhat intimidated when they hear guitar players play. And I do that too. Oh, there's guitar players like Tommy Emmanuel, Joe Satriani, T5. They can play circles around me. Right. But the guitar is your instrument. And what I mean by that is you got to find your voice, your life, your style, your inspiration, and your story on that guitar. And it's not about who can play the best chops. Some guitar players get caught up in the chops of the guitar, but it's more about telling your story.
Shining brighter than the
This guitar been telling stories from the beginning of time.
Talk to them.
And as long as you can tell your story on the guitar, it doesn't matter how good you are. Yeah. I tell people just pick up that damn piece of wood with some strings on it.
God damn it.
And start playing.
He's telling me.
And let me leave you with this one. Always remember this. Life is not a rehearsal, so start living. This song is called From the Heart.
Get your motherfucking copy.
Thank you so much.
All right, Zach. That look good. That man, I appreciate you coming through, dog.
Thank you so much.